Hello guys, welcome to the Claywright Workshop. Today, guess what? We're going to make a dragon. Dragons are fascinating creatures, and if the one animal that I can make, and nobody comes up and corrects me and tells me that I did it wrong, that I got the toe on the wrong side or the eyelid wrong or something, because it's a fictitious creature. However, many cultures take the dragon very seriously. The original dragon, we think, the oldest records, start out in the Hang Dai Yellow Emperor about 2,500 years BC. So that's a pretty long time ago. It's been part of every culture. Now, here in front of us, I have a three-piece dragon, the head, the middle section, and the tail. So that's a fun one to make. Here, of course, is a larger one over here to my immediate left, and it has more detail. We won't be able to work quite that large today, and if we really had the time, and I wish we had more time together, we could do a hanging dragon. It's the same concept, as you can see. The head is pretty much the same every time, the head, the horn, the eyes, but this one, of course, would hang on a wall, and it has a nice big wings. Now, if you look up above me here, you'll see two dragon pots. Here's one not painted, good old white clay, and that's a larger one. And here's one that has been painted. It's about a medium size. They make great pots for plants that would go outside in the garden, etc. It's the same face that I'm going to show you today. We've just put it on a pot here. Okay. We'll get started because it's going to take me a little time to do this. And what I'm going to do, instead of a three-piece one, I'm going to do just the head, okay? So I'm going to move this midsection here, and I'm going to move the tail, so we'll have a little more room to work. And I'm going to try to get a head done, like you see here. Now, being the old ex-school teacher that I am, I'm going to mosey on over here to the blackboard. And what we're going to do is, on step one, we're going to do a large carrot, okay? We'll start here at the bottom, and it's going to come up, and then I'm going to bend it. And it's nothing but a bent carrot, if you will, all right? That's step one, all right? That's where I'm headed first. I'm going to do your large bent carrot. Now, as usual, we're going to use good old white earthenware clay. Here's a 25-pound bag right here. Open it up, and as long as we keep it wrapped in plastic, it will stay pliable. It will stay palpable, okay? Now, this is 25 pounds. I'm going to cut, looks like I cut about a third of it. Wouldn't be bad. And I'm going to roll a coil. Might be a little bit big, actually. I'm going to roll a coil. Now, we're starting out square, and by rolling it and putting pressure on it, I've taken the corners off, and now I'm going to put more pressure on one end than the other, and it begins to get big on one end and small on the other, like an egg or a blind date, all right? Now, you can't really sense this, but I'm pulling my hands apart. I'm pulling like this. So I'm stretching it out. And in just a skinny few moments here, probably less than a minute, I have the carrot that I drew on the board. All right? I make it dull and blunt on both ends, like a Baptist sermon, just dull on both ends, okay? You can relate to that. Now, you see how big it is on this end, as small as this end. I'm going to take this stick. It's got a dull point. I'm going to go right up the bottom and come through this and hollow it out, all right? Now, we call this stick, and it just goes up the bottom. We call this a proctology stick. It goes right up the bottom, and notice I'm rolling it, so I'm actually drilling in with this stick. And I'm trying to keep it centered. It did pretty good. I can feel it there. Now, get a close-up there. You can see I'm right up the bottom. I'm going to push down on the stick, and what will happen is, by pushing the pressure down, I'm opening up. Now we use this technique a lot, the large cone. That's simple enough to do. Came out pretty good, actually. Now, pull out the proctology stick, and you can see my walls are about the thickness of a slice of white bread. Now, I prepared this board, has a dowel in the middle, and I'm going to stick this here. There's the dull and blunt end. Now, if you notice on my dragon to the left here, he has a fins down the back. So does the one on the right. All right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull back on this circle. And there's where my fin will be later. Okay, well that's pretty darn simple, wasn't it? Okay, now this is called a fettling knife, and I have no idea why they've called it that. I call it politically correct. It has no point and no edge. So just to give you a feel of what we're doing, watch this. This is way cool. I like showing off. All right. Could this be any easier or any more fun? This is just great therapy. I have friends that are therapists, and we mentioned clay therapy. I think it's just touching the clay kind of empowers you. All right? Now, as I've drawn on my sketch on the board, when I bend this over, watch what happens. Hopefully, I've figured it just about right. Coming into the throat area here. There's the nose. Hey, this is working pretty darn good. I can live with this. Okay? Now, in the whole world, there's only 3 ways that anybody ever sculpted anything in all of recorded history. We've done all of them already. Manipulative, where these were up and we bent it down. Now, if you'll notice, if you look to the right, this one, the nose is further down. You see the movement to it, and the nose is further down. The one to my left, the bigger one here, the nose is up. Now, gravity gets us all in the end. My wife told me that. So I want to start out with this level. But of course, it will slowly drop down. Gravity gets us all in the end. So I'm going to start out here. I'm not going to start out where I want to be, because I didn't marry the boss's daughter. I'm going to start out here knowing that when I work it, it's going to slowly come down. So I'm going to leave it slightly up. I'm trying to put pretty curves in it. I'm a sculptor. I'm interested in form. Now, you'll again notice on both of the other ones, because this is in the reptile family, I'm going to put the ridges on the stomach. And I'm going to use this just simple stick here. And I'm going to put ridges. Look how simple that is. This is so cool. A lot of times in my classes at my studio, people are expecting this is going to take a lot of talent or a lot of time. But you see how quickly, I haven't got a clock to look at here, but do you see how quickly we've done the ridges already? So now here's the nose, the ridges, the fin. I'm going to go back to the drawing board so we can kind of keep up with what we're doing. I'll switch over to another color here. We've done the primary shape, which is always the first thing you do. Now remember, if you looked at a lot of money and you counted it, you would say it was $127.38. So you start out with the primary numbers, and you go down to the secondaries, and you go down to the small change. So this was our primary shape. Already, we altered it by putting in the fins. Okay? We also have altered it by putting the ridges on the stomach. Gives it a little bit more of a round. Now we know where the stomach is. Now these are my primary and my secondary shapes. I'm moving into the next one. What we're going to do now is I'm going to go with the eye